What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Giga Chad Books. I'm your host, Giga Chad Books. I just recorded 10 minutes of footage, and it was like the best recording I've done. And apparently, it couldn't access my card, so it couldn't save the video. So I'm very upset about that. So we're about to get into it. Today, we're talking about Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Do electric sheep dream of androids? I don't know, but maybe by the end of this book review, we will know. I saw like a YouTube short for this like a year ago, and it stuck with me because this is the inspiration for the Bladerunner films. And I've seen the first Blade Runner movie, but it was so long ago that I remember nothing from it. I just remember that it has Harrison Ford in it, and the main character was Rick Deckard. And Harrison Ford is really cool. So obviously Rick Deckard's going to be really cool too. But yeah, so I finally got around to reading this, and it was really short. It was really good. It was very fast paced, and I really enjoyed it. I thought this is a really dope book. I thought it was super cool. It's about bounty hunters, and what is there not to like about a bounty hunter tale? Like, bounty hunters are so freaking cool. This book takes place in the year 2021. Which is pretty crazy because we're 4 years past 2021 and our world does not look like this at all. Nothing like what Philip K. Dick envisioned it to be. In this world, on this earth, there are hovering cars, which is cool. This world is heavily polluted and disgusting and filled with dust that basically just suffocates the life out of everything. There is like, I don't even think that there's a single mention of like any sort of nature throughout this book. It just kind of seems like a dry and desolate wasteland with a bunch of infrastructure and stuff. Of course, a lot of city, of course. Very dark world. A lot of organic matter. Organic life is just completely gone away with. Many species are extinct. There are still some that live, but they are so rare. They have a lot of value placed upon them. And that's kind of where the motivation for Rick Deckard's character comes into play here, is that he wants an animal because animals are a sign of high social status and they're a sign of prestige, and people want to own animals because they're rare and they show people that you got money. You know, he has a neighbor who has a horse, and he's very jealous of his neighbor because Rick owns a sheep. But the thing about his sheep is that it's an artificial sheep. It's not a real sheep, so he's just fabricating his social status. He's like, look at me, bro, like I'm just like y'all. But what y'all don't know about me is that I actually don't have any money. So he's very worried about appearances. He's worried about keeping up with the externals. And if there's one thing I can tell you guys, is to not worry about that stuff. None of it matters. Material things don't matter. Reduce your possessions and be satisfied with the intellectual, the moral, and the ethical. Be worried about yourself and be worried with becoming more knowledgeable. Because in the end, that's really what matters, is your character. I learned that in Tao Te Ching. Basically, Rick Deckard is a bounty hunter, and he is signed to deal with androids, unlisted androids that come in to the Earth. There's like android production on Mars. Mars has been settled, and they make androids up there, and sometimes these androids like manage to escape via ship, and they make it to Earth, and then they pose as real human beings with real names, real lives, real jobs, whatever. And people don't really know that. People don't know that there are androids walking around them. So Rick Deckard's job is to get rid of these androids, because they're dangerous and they're illegal and whatever. And he's paid $1,000 to track them down and kill them, which low key is not a lot of money for like, undergoing such a dangerous task and eliminating a threat. Like, I make $1,000 in like 2 weeks by just serving tables, man. Like, I don't even have to kill anybody and I make that much money. Like, this is not cool. This book was written in 1968, so I'm sure $1,000 probably seemed like a lot of money then, but he didn't really account for inflation. This is a super sick book. I really like the world that we partake in here. I love the descriptions of all of the buildings and stuff. There's some really cool set pieces and really cool scenes where you're kind of like left with a lot of questions. Like so many questions just like flood in, and you're like, man, what even is real right now? Like you can't tell what is what and who's in danger, who is a threat. It's very very confusing, and it's very back and forth. And it's just like keeping you on your toes all the time, and I freaking love that about this book. There's like there's even a point where you like begin to question, like, is Rick Deckard even like a man? Is he an android himself? Like it's super crazy how the perspectives just change so much and so frequently. It's super sick. There's this whole empathy test that they undergo in order to determine whether somebody is an android or a human, and I think that it's kind of a flawed test, honestly. Like it definitely it works here, because the androids are they don't understand the concept of empathy. They can't show empathy towards anything else. They're only worried about themselves. So that's why this test is utilized. But there's plenty of people in this world that are just mad selfish and just like don't care about things. So it's very very likely that somebody would fail this test, I feel like, because there's plenty of like malicious people out there that simply just don't understand what it means to be a good human being. So I think that it's flawed, but we don't really see an occurrence of that here. The empathy test is pretty much spot on all the time. And I think that this kind of also leads into a complaint that I have with the book that I think could have been really cool. We see a lot of consideration from Rick over this idea of like, can we like care for something that is artificial? Like, can we care for these artificial humans? And he really kind of battles with this idea throughout the book, and it really weighs heavy on him, and it totally makes sense in my opinion. I definitely think that we can feel empathetic towards these artificial humans, towards these androids, because like they give off the presentation of being human, they give off the facade of having feeling and having their own experiences and their own thoughts and stuff, and obviously they look like a human, and humans are going to empathize towards other humans almost naturally, I would say. You know, I feel like we have an innate desire to care for other people. Not all of us, but most of us, I think. So there's like that confliction within Rick's character because he has to kill all these androids, but there isn't really any sort of reciprocation for that on the other side. I think this would have been a really great area of a really great gray area to have within the book, is to have the androids present themselves as being more empathetic. But the further you get into the book, the further that you realize that it's just like not even a thing. Like there isn't even the concept of empathy doesn't exist for them. And I felt like that was kind of disappointing, because it could have been really dope. It could have been really dope to see like their intelligence like change and develop over time, and like somehow they wake up into becoming something more human, because like the fact that they present themselves as being non-empathetic creatures, like that doesn't present any sort of conflict in actually killing them once you find that out, because they just clearly are not human. They don't have the human element to them. So it's like, why does it matter when they're just imposters floating around just messing shit up? So let's just freaking kill them. But I like this book. I like the action in it. I like the obscure nature of it. There's a lot of just really cool scenes in it. The end of the book is pretty nuts. I don't even really know what conclusion to draw from it. It was super confusing, but super cool. I really liked Rick Deckard's character, and I like the world that Philip Dick created. I think that is super awesome, and I really want to watch the movies now because it's dope. It's just cool. I'm trying to see Harrison Ford kill people, that aren't really people. And then I need to watch the Ryan Reynolds one because I haven't seen that one at all. But yeah, it's all that I have to say. about this book. Pretty good book. If you like sci-fi, you like action, you like bounty hunters, uh, you like short books, freaking read it. I don't think you'll regret it. I think it's super sick. But other than that, I'm about to go chill for the rest of the day and have a good rest of my day. I hope that y'all do the same. I hope that y'all try to accomplish something today. Be creative, make something, make some food, do something to feel good about yourself, because we should always take care of ourselves. And don't forget to reduce your possessions. But I'm gonna get out of here. So y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and thank y'all so much for watching. Goodbye.